Hey guys, it's USAFA. Welcome back to another episode of Voices of the Community. Tonight's guest is one of the sharpest, funniest, and most brutally honest voices in the Marvel Contest of Champions community. Ham has been with the game since 2015, long enough to watch champion design evolve, metas rise and fall, and the entire direction of MCOC to shift more times than any of us can count. He's a creator who blends analysis with humor, frustration with insight, and chaos with clarity. Ham sees the game differently. He pays attention to patterns, to design choices, to the things that Kabam gets right, and to the things they absolutely don't. And he's not afraid to say exactly what he thinks. Tonight, we're going to go deep into the philosophy of champion design, the state of the meta, the player experience in 2025, and the role of creators, and what it actually takes to stay invested in the game after nearly a decade. This is going to be honest, sharp, and a whole lot of fun. Ladies and gentlemen, Ham. Hey guys, it's USAFA. Welcome back to another episode of Voices of the Community. Today I've got Ham on stream. We're going to do a quick interview with him. I'm going to hand it over to you, Ham, and let's see what you got to say, brother.
Thanks for having me, dude. First off, I just want to say thank you for having me. I'm a really big fan of the work you put in to make sure that everyone in here has a community, whether or not they already have an existing platform. I'm glad to be here, whether or not this is going to be full of weird jokes and sarcastic remarks on my end. That's really just we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'm super excited to talk about my feelings on this community because I haven't really been doing that much in my videos, and we'll just see how it goes.
No, Ham, I'm really excited about having you on the on Voices of the Community because I have recently become a convert to I am a huge fan now of your entire channel and all the videos that you have been putting out. They are funny, they are well researched, they are well produced, and I think you do a fantastic job. So if anybody's listening to this interview and you haven't gone and checked over Ham's channel, please go do so. You're going to love his videos. They're absolutely a delight, and they're a bright shining star in this entire content creator community. But Ham, before we start glazing each other too much here, I want to hear more about your background, more about your story. In our pre-work, you said that you've been playing MCOC for almost a decade. What got you starting to play this game and got you interested?
So actually, I was born with an iPhone SE stuck to my hand, and I just had Marvel Contest of Champions installed. So you could say that I was born to play Marvel Contest of Champions. Actually, fun fact, I still have it stuck to my hand. See, never really did surgery to get it removed or anything. But okay, but in all reality, I started in 2015. My stepdad started playing a few days before me, got me into it, and it's been like a family thing for a while.
Yep.
And as of recently, I started playing competitively. So the
So,
timeline is I was doing that as time went on. They stopped playing. I was kind of just hanging around and then started integrating myself into the competitive scene, the community more in 2023. And that's kind of how I've been recently as well. Just kind of sticking around, a lot more active in the community than I was the last few years.
right. So your stepdad doesn't play anymore. So it's you're the only one who plays MCOC in the house now, huh?
He actually messaged me recently. So you're probably going to talk about it later, but when I did the Summoners Fest Beat the Boss thing,
Yep.
I got a nice message from him asking if I competed on Beat the Boss and stuff. So
Yep.
that was fun to see. But
No.
yeah, he doesn't really play it as much anymore, hasn't at the time. I've been keeping the legacy, I guess.
Right. What's the core thing that keeps you coming back? Is it the competition, the mechanics, the community, the sunk cost of
So
you spending so many years playing this game?
it's a mixed factor. Yeah, like I do have a great respect for this game. I've been playing for over half my life. I'm 20. I've been playing for over 10 years, so I do have that level of attachment to this game. But also, what keeps me coming back, I would say, is the core game mechanics, the novelty of using characters that I absolutely love. I'm a huge
Yeah.
Marvel fan. Like I got the trading cards and all that still, and well, I guess Dave and Buster cards. Sorry. I'm just a huge Marvel nerd, and that's what keeps me going around.
Right.
And you can probably see it in my videos and stuff. I'm a huge sucker for nostalgia and stuff, so I love
Absolutely.
going back and just looking at a bunch of fun stuff with this game.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've been playing for almost a decade. When did you start creating content related to Marvel Contest of Champions?
I'd like to say 2020.
Okay. So about
So
5 years ago. Okay.
yeah,
Yep. And we will talk about some of your videos in the past, and you are completely right. I mean, one of the hallmark things in your channel and in your videos is that you do a lot of historical research with regards to a lot of the things that have changed in the past and the historical aspect of Marvel Contest Champions. One of those videos was I'm probably going to mistitle it, but it was the death of the Buff program. How long did that take for you to produce? I mean, it was an amazing piece of work, amazing piece of research. I mean, it must have taken you a terribly long time to do it.
So I'd like to say in total it was around 20 days. I think
Yeah.
there was a lot of external factors because I do the recording in the car, so sometimes I get
Right.
too hot. But
Right.
yeah, um, yeah, it was like a couple days worth of research. A lot of time was devoted to editing. That was my most complex video at the time,
Yeah.
so that was a really fun one to make. But
And if you look at other content creators, which I find this is fascinating to me, you look at other content creators, the big ones. You got Seaton, you got Lags, you got all the big ones. And if you look at their channel, they probably put out maybe 4 or 5 videos a week, and they're real grinders. But you go to your channel, and you see these really highly produced, very researched documentary style videos, and you probably put out one a month. I mean, is the interval of you releasing new content, is it due to the fact that you want to put out a quality product that has that much research?
so I pride myself in making sure that I'm able to deliver something that the audiences will greatly appreciate. That
Hmm.
is the core thing of why I started YouTube. I like doing stuff that'll just make people laugh, something that something that'll leave an everlasting impact with them.
Yep.
And I'd say that my content has greatly evolved over the course of 5 years. So earlier in the early days, it was just like 20-second funny videos and stuff.
Yeah.
And as time went on, I started integrating voiceovers and stuff. I started integrating the 2D image of the ham with the suit inside.
Yeah.
And I'd say as of recently, I spend a lot of time making sure that everyone has just a great video viewing experience.
So what's your goal? Is it mostly to educate, to entertain? Is it to provoke, maybe challenge the establishment?
Entire entirely entertainment. That
Yeah.
is the main thing.
Your content has a very distinct tone, and so there's their videos, and then Ham, I also tuned in for one of your live streams the other day,
Oh
and
yeah,
and
I saw the
and
comment.
and
I saw it.
I've got to say, you were a little bit of a rager during the
There
last
are
stream.
yeah, there are two very different aspects to me. There is the content creation version of me where I am very much just trying to entertain people, and
Yep.
then there is the live version of me where I
Right.
get upset and I scream and I slam my desk, and it's not really for the faint of heart, but that's just kind of how I am with Battlegrounds in a way.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it can bring the worst and most passionate out of people. That's for sure. Um,
Absolutely,
when you're
100%.
just when you're deciding on content, what to make next, what usually sparks it? Is it kind of like a good idea, a design, a funny moment, or like pure frustration for some things?
1 second. Can you hear my dog barking
I
at all?
can't. I just a little bit, just a little bit.
Okay, I was gonna say I can go sneeze if need be. Uh, so in terms of video ideas, though, okay, I have to do this. I'm sorry.
Hey, no
I'm so
problem, no
sorry.
problem.
You can honestly keep this in if you want to. It's not
This is great. What's his name?
Milo. He does this every time. Every time I live stream, he'll just stare at me, growl.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like he knows, like, you're live streaming, I'm gonna ruin it. Okay, but in terms of video ideas, I tend to look at stuff that people have never really done before. So
Yeah.
I would say that the content creation in this game is a little bit samey. Like you have the new content, the new champion releases. I'd say it's a difficult game to make unique content around. So that's why I like looking at the past stuff in this game and just doing complete breakdowns, complete histories of a bunch of older stuff. But obviously, I do other stuff like I'll talk about Taskmaster, I'll talk about Cyclops, just standard characters, yeah, and I'll just edit it a little bit more to give it my own style.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm gonna release a Punisher video tomorrow or
Oh,
whenever
nice.
this comes out. It might have already come out, so we'll see.
Um, so out of going to the game, more the game mechanics, out of all the modes released over the past years, I mean, you've got AQ, you've got BGs, you've got AW, you've got the recent Coliseum. Which one of those game modes that has been released over the years for Marvel Contest of Champions do you believe make the game healthier and more engaging?
Ooh, that's a tough question. I thought you were gonna ask which one I enjoy the most, but in terms of the most like straight up best content they've ever released that
Yep.
everyone is able to enjoy, it like there's not really an entry level. There's the high tier, low tier. I'd have to say it's story content. Like
Yeah.
you've got enjoyable aspects of it with every new boss they release, and then you've got like it's the first thing you do when you start this game. You get introduced to
Yeah.
story quest and it sticks with you the entirety of it. It keeps going and going and going, and you have the opportunity to basically progress your roster around story content as opposed to something like Battlegrounds where I'd say the entry level is completely different where you can play it, but it's a lot more difficult and frustrating as an
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah. Do you think the cadence of release for story content is right on, or do you wish they would make it a little bit more faster, make that interval a little bit less?
So this might tie into something completely different, but I kind of wish they would change their. I kind of wish they would like move away from like 2 characters a month because I think this game's quite overbloated when it comes to stuff like that,
Yeah.
and focus more on like other game modes and stuff because they do have that cadence of releasing 2 characters a month. They've stuck to it for 10 years. I'm impressed they have,
Yeah.
but as a result, other stuff that I think could be fleshed out a bit more, like the new modes, like Dimensional Arcade was a train wreck in my opinion. Like I think that could have been fleshed out a lot more if they had more time. And other modes like story quests and stuff, they just aren't able to produce it as much as I would like.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now let's move in a different direction. So you think that story quests and story content is something that makes the game healthier and keeps people more engaged. Let's go to the opposite direction and say, what's a mode that has or system that has drifted away from what it was supposed to be?
Mhm. I'm not gonna say Battlegrounds or War because I would say those still have levels of engagement.
Yep.
I'd have to say their recent trend of newer modes. So you had the Dimensional Arcade, the gambling mode. I don't even remember what it was called.
Yep.
Not gambling mode, poker mode.
Poker. Yep.
And yeah, because they're now trying to stray away from the core aspects of this game to try and invent something new. And in my opinion, it's just not fleshed out enough to be enjoyable.
Yeah.
So I think that it's just it's kind of a flop in my opinion. Like it kind of feels more like a Mario Party experience than like Marvel Contest of Champions in its core.
Yeah.
So I kind of wish that those were fleshed out a little bit more to give it its MCOC identity.
I was kind of expecting you to say incursions because that to me immediately in the top of my head with regards to game modes or systems that has kind of drifted away. I mean, incursions every now and then comes back with some sort of relevance, but um, I think it is now like the redheaded stepchild of Marvel Contest of Champions. Now it gets that doesn't get a whole lot of attention to it.
I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I forgot incursions were remote in this game.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah,
There you
there you
go.
go. That's my real answer right there is incursions.
Right.
Yeah,
All right. So you play Battlegrounds. You're a Battlegrounds player. Obviously.
that is the main competitive thing
That-
that I play. Yes.
yeah, yeah. When you look at the current meta, do you feel that the game encourages experimentation, or is it trending towards a narrow set of only viable champions?
So this is gonna tie into normal vanilla champion releases as well.
Yeah.
I think I can't really say when this happened, but I think we finally hit this game's like this core game aspect. We peaked in terms of gameplay. So this kind of can go back to defenders like Serpent and stuff, where obviously they're really annoying. You can't really do them without a direct counter. I would say back in 2018, characters like Korg fit the exact template, but our skill set wasn't really evolved as much back then. So
Yeah.
over time, as we learned stuff like light intercepting, for example, he became doable by majority of the roster.
Yep.
So now that, in my opinion, we hit that game's skill cap, we just don't really get that anymore, and that's why people get frustrated with characters that release. They're annoying defenders, and then we immediately get just counters the month after. It was always like this. For Korg, I believe the counter was Omega Red. I could be wrong about that, but it's just I I think that's how it's existed for the longest time.
Yeah.
And obviously characters like Domino kind of break away from that, but I don't know, Domino's weird.
Yeah, no, definitely it's the to create the disease and sell the cure sort of thing. And then they come out with champions like Dark Phoenix that have unavoidable damage for the vast majority of attackers. So yeah, so I can definitely see how we have moved away from trying to uh, have a node that requires a specific skill, and now it requires a specific champion. So
Uh-huh.
absolutely. If Kabam said, Ham, fix one gameplay system right now, what's the first lever that you would pull?
That is a really difficult question
And
for me,
I'll,
honestly.
and I'll give you
Uh,
examples. I mean, we're talking like the nodes that have been in the game since forever. Could be the AI, the
Yeah,
battlegrounds matchmaking, champion release cadence, ability accuracy, which you go into quite a bit. What
yeah,
what lever would you
yeah.
pull immediately?
Yeah. I I just gotta say, like, that is a difficult question because I have nothing but respect for the game designers in this game.
Yeah,
Character releases, like the amount of time it takes to release one character, because you got to consider every existing character,
yeah,
every single node, every single relic mechanic. That takes a lot of time and effort. So I can't really say anything character wise that I would change because like I'm not an employee. I can't just sit there like, okay, change that. So
yeah,
I'd say the most glaringly obvious thing it would be the release cadence of 2 characters a month. I think that it's I'll I think that they set their own standard of they have to release 2 characters a month to keep people engaged, but I
yeah.
think if they took a couple months to just step back, focus on the bugs and the overall other modes, that would actually work out better in my opinion.
Yeah. It's funny because when I went to Kabam headquarters over a year ago, when they had their creator summit up there, they sat us down in a room and they told us what champions are coming over the next 6 months, and it was definitely a much larger preview than they normally give. And they told us what their process was. They have to get their champions, what champions they are going to be designing in the next year, approved by Disney like a year in advance. It's insane how in advance they have to go.
That's
So I guarantee you that they have a list of the next 12 months of champions that they're going to be working on because they have to get it approved by corporate.
yeah.
Yeah,
Unrelated, I didn't even know that they had to get, like, normal comic characters approved by Disney. I thought it was just, like, IP movie stuff.
yeah,
So
yeah,
thanks for that information.
yeah. It's
The
pretty
more you
crazy.
learn.
So let's shift gears to and now something that's very dear to my heart, and I think as well as yours. But I care a lot and I track a lot the monetization and the economy of the game. And I try to spend a lot of time on that. That's kind of like what I found my niche being. What is your opinion with regards to the current state of the economy of the game? Now, it doesn't have to be monetization, although that can feed into your answer. It could also be um, uh, rank up resources. It could be the currencies that are gained in the battle modes. Do you see the current evolution of the game that the game is currently on? Do you see it as a healthy evolution, or is there just unnecessary complexity associated with it?
So, I would say as of, like, a month ago, you saw the banquet rewards. They're practically speed running the rank 6s. I think that's completely unhealthy. We're not even at rank 5s yet, and we're getting rank 6s the exact same
Yeah,
time as rank 5s. I think that's way too fast. So, it really depends on how early the rank 6 Punisher is gonna be to stereotypical rank 6s. Because I could totally see just rank 6 Punisher and then rank 6s come out in a year. I still
yeah,
think it's an unhealthy precedent, but over the course of the last year or so, monetization and resources required, it's just taken a massive step up as opposed to previous years. Like, so when I started playing competitively in early 2024, late 2023, it wasn't that bad. Like, it was what, $1,000 every July 4th
yeah.
banquet. No, now it's like you have Heart of Fire, July 4th. That's basically $600 to $1,000 every month. I'm a college student, man. I can't pay for that every month, so
Right.
that's why I kind of step back from Battlegrounds.
So you,
So I think it's in a very unhealthy direction.
yeah. I mean, looking back on the game, and you and I have been playing this game for a decade now. And
Mhm.
I remember a post that was sent out, and maybe by Crash or somebody from Kabam that was talking about the monetization. How back in the day, 10 years ago, they were gaining a lot of their overall game revenue from consumables. And now those consumables really aren't really a factor anymore, because now people have enough consumables built up into their inventory so that they don't have to buy them from the store. And so they had to make their money somehow. And so I think it was Crash just sent out the monetization post and said that they've got to find ways in this game without trying to make people pay more to play this game. And I think that those events like Heart of Fire and all the sub events in between Cyber Weekend and Banquet and 4th of July, all those little sub events are getting a little bit out of hand. And I would like to see them
Yeah.
scaled back a little bit more.
I'm gonna have to look into that post because I know what you're talking about, but I never looked at it personally, so I don't
Yeah.
really have that much of a connection or a understanding of that post as you might. So
Dude,
I'm not really gonna comment on that any further.
Dude, we really got to do a video on that, man. I've got to utilize your
I know.
production value. We really do.
Yeah, I know. We were talking about it. To the viewers at home, we were gonna make a history of monetization in this game for Banquet, but it just didn't really pan out. Maybe next year. Anytime.
It's finding the time to do it, man. Because man,
Yeah.
it's hard to do it. And you're a college student, so we didn't even talk about that. So, what are you studying in college right now?
Currently, I'm just looking at accounting.
Nice. Okay. Sweet. I see a Navy poster behind you on your door. Were you ever thinking about joining the service?
No, that was just there. I'm just staying with my grandparents, so that he was in the Navy, so that's just there.
Nice. All right. So, community and culture. What's one thing that you generally love about the MCOC community right now? I know you came out to Summers Fest. It was great to see it too.
Yeah, that was my favorite thing by far. But in terms of general community, I met a lot of great people through this community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
blanking real quick, sorry.
Who is the person you were most excited to see at Summoners Fest?
It was gonna be Nagase, but he didn't show up, unfortunately. So I'd say my favorite person that I met there, Seaton, was a blast. Like everyone there was just so nice. I loved everyone there, and so happy I got to meet so many people. But it has to be Cantona just because of the ongoing beef that me and him have. So that was fun.
No, I've met a bunch of people before in the past, and so I was most looking forward to meeting Puppy, Cantona, you, people who I haven't met before, who are relatively new faces in the content creator realm. So it was great.
Yeah, because I was like slightly present in the last 5 years. Like my most viewed video was one of my earlier ones. So, but I didn't really actively partake in community stuff until recently, which is why I attended this Summoners Fest and not the first one. I really wish I attended that first one, but I wasn't really that active in the community then. So it's just the more you learn, you know.
So now that you're more engaged with the community and you're putting out fantastic videos, you're doing live streams, you're going to Summoners Fest, you have a little bit better understanding of what challenges the community is going through. What do you think is one thing that the community currently struggles with? Do you think they struggle with negativity, extremes, tribalism, any kind of unrealistic expectations for the game? What's the biggest thing you think the community struggles with?
I don't want to be mean, but I think their expectations for this game. I think their expectations for this game are way too high. Because now that I'm in the content creator program and kind of get a little bit more understanding of how stuff works.
Yep.
I was kind of in that bubble sometimes where I didn't really understand how stuff worked. Now that I do, I really see how difficult it is to maintain a game of this level.
Yeah.
Which is why the only thing I can really say is I just wish it wasn't that overbloated, which I've said before. Yep. So it would.
Yeah. How would you solve? And I'm sorry, I'm getting off the subject of community, but how would you solve the game being over bloated? I mean, I know you've talked about slowing down the cadence of champion releases, but we are where we are. We have almost 300 champions in the game right now.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. I don't think it's possible to negate it. Like you can slow it down, but we're to a point now where it's just the game's just too big.
Yeah,
and obviously stuff like that happens with games. It's just an inevitability, but I think with the expectations they've set, it just ended up happening a lot faster.
Yeah.
Like, I think 2 characters a month, all the nodes, all the new modes and all that, it really sped up. But yeah, let's go back to the community.
Yeah. So community. So now you've been able to interact with a lot of players and a lot of creators. How much does the community feedback affect your enjoyment of the game and the content that you create? Do you take their feedback often? Do you enjoy their feedback, or is there sometimes you would like to ignore
So,
some of it?
uh, so just to specify, you're talking about like feedback from my videos or
Yep.
feedback on the game?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. Yes,
I
yes,
ha
and yes.
okay. I'd rather talk about feedback on the game because I haven't really
Okay.
had that many. I've seen a couple negative comments on my videos, but
Yep.
overall, everyone is really positive in my community. I like it a lot. But I'd say a couple factors of people just being really negative about the game. It has affected me somewhat.
Yeah.
Um, I'll talk about it personally, but like what got me into the competitive aspect of this game, it wasn't like my enjoyment of it. It was initially a fear of just not really being respected enough in the community. So
Yep.
I kind of was under the premise that I have to play good in battlegrounds for people to respect me. Obviously now that's not how I feel anymore, but that was the reason why I got into competitive and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
Was joining the
but
CCP a big step in your life and playing this game?
no.
Nope.
Yeah, just no.
It, you could take it or leave it. Do you,
Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say on that. Just no.
All right, dude. So I've got some rapid fire questions for you, if you don't mind. I don't want you to think about these questions. I just want you to give your
Okay.
blunt and honest answer. Please do not, read too much into it
I'm,
or try to analyze your
I'm,
answers before
I'm
you
about
come
to say
back.
something real. I'm about to say something really dumb. Let's do it.
Yeah. All right. Let's do it. All right. The more important in a champion, is it the animations or the utility?
Animations, I'd say. I'd
Really?
say the first impression you get. Yeah, I. That's just coming from a personal thing, but I think my favorite thing about this game is the level of care and input into making a character feel like the character that you're playing. Now, obviously,
Okay.
utility is a very big factor in that, which is why I think characters like Kate Bishop and Nico, they don't really feel like a character, more just designed to be meta.
Right.
Those aren't characters that I really enjoy. Whereas other characters like Carolina, the aspect of playing into the sun to throw big specials, that's super fun. And I'd say that kind of feels like Carolina Dean.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of like a mix where utility and animations play a big factor to making the character very enjoyable.
But on the scale, you would lean more towards animation.
100%.
Okay, sweet. What's the most underrated champion in the game currently?
Black Panther Civil War.
Okay.
Don't even need to question that. That dude could take literally every mutant in battlegrounds, and it is insane.
And I'm going to ask this question, and I think I know the answer to it. But what's one champion you'd rebuild up from the ground up if given total freedom?
Taskmaster.
Yeah, yeah.
I
I
want to say
yeah
okay. So I wouldn't really say rebuild from the ground up. I think he just needs a couple moderate stuff.
yeah.
In terms of character that I really want to just like you have nothing going for you, I'm gonna rebuild you from the ground up. I actually want to say symbiote Spider-Man.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Isn't Symbiote Spider-Man getting a buff really soon?
Wait, uh, can you repeat that? My headset just did something weird.
Isn't Symbiote Spider-Man getting a buff pretty soon? Didn't they announce that?
Did they? I
I,
didn't hear anything
I
about it.
I don't know. I remember seeing something about it. Maybe it was a dream. All right.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
what would you rather have? Would you rather have a perfect battlegrounds fight or open a crystal with your dream champion?
I say a perfect battlegrounds fight. I just
Okay.
when I play battlegrounds, I do really enjoy when I have a fight that is just perfect in it. So it really just depends. If it's just like a stereotypical like Nico Minoru versus Serpent done perfectly, I get no enjoyment out of that. But if
Yeah.
I have like a fun fight, like Black Panther Civil War versus Onslaught, something that a lot of people would say, "Oh, you can't do that. Onslaught gives you Daunted and stuff on the parry." I
Right.
could, I've had 50K scores like that, and it's just super satisfying to pull that off on stream where everyone can see it,
Yeah.
and it's like super fun seeing comments like, "What, you can do that? That's crazy! I didn't know you could do that.
I
Show me how
think
you do that."
I think I watched one of your battlegrounds fights last night, and then you lost by like 3 points or something like that. It was like insane.
I know what
But
you're talking about.
yeah, it was a
That
perfect
was
fight, but you still fell
Yeah,
short.
literally my last stream, and I lost
Yeah.
by 3 points, and I pulled out the Mickey Mouse voice, I think.
There you go. There you go. All right.
Yeah.
So let's jump back into longevity. I've only got a few more questions for you. So you've lasted
Okay.
nearly a decade in this game, where most people quit within months. What's your secret to
Yeah,
longevity in this game?
I like Marvel.
You like Marvel? Have you always been a Marvel
I
fan?
Uh, hard to tell. I wasn't like born and then looked at like a picture of Iron Man and said, I love
Right,
Marvel.
right, right.
Yeah.
But it's been a long time.
Um, yeah. I'd say it's just the fact that my IRL friends are also really big fans, so like we have really fun banter between each other about a bunch of stuff like that.
Yeah.
But now that like we kind of grown out of it a bit, but now that I'm in the community, it's kind of just the same thing, but with other very passionate people in this game.
Yeah. Have you ever felt burnout?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
I took numerous breaks over my 10 years. That would be absolutely insane if I played for 10 years straight.
Right. Well, Jesus, I've been there. What triggers burnout for you? Is it gameplay? Is it monetization, repetition, or something else?
This game is very repetitive in my opinion,
Yeah.
so I do need breaks every once in a while. That is every game. This is probably my most played game of all time.
Right.
Even games like that, it's the same thing over and over where you're just fighting a character, doing the same quests, and so I do enjoy stuff like Battlegrounds where it is competitive, but again, it's kind of it does trigger a lot of burnout, which is why I'm not playing the
Yeah.
game right now. I'm solely focused on my YouTube channel.
Right. Right. So Summers Fest, they announced quite a few things. What makes you the most excited of all the things that they announced for the future of the game?
I'd have to remember what happened at Summers Fest. The two things that I remember getting announced that I really was looking forward to was Doctor Strange rework and
Yep.
the Punisher buff. I'm a huge fan of buffs in this game.
Yep.
Like I'm just yeah, like I have a weird fascination with an old character and then you get something new out of the complete buffs and stuff like that. That's always been my favorite aspect of this game. So that's kind of why I'm happy the balance program's gone because in my opinion, nothing was really happening in that, you know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I can see that too. But I mean, they're releasing, how many champions are they releasing? The four rebalanced champions this month. So there is rebalancing still going on, even though there's not a stated program that
yeah,
they're being worked on.
it, yeah, I guess you're kind of right, but I'd say that it's more just like an accessibility thing as opposed to just looking at every character determining whether or not they need immediate changes. I think they're probably going to just look at egregious examples moving forward.
Yeah.
They did say they were going to like revisit that though, because my biggest issue with the bounce program wasn't its like existence or anything. It was more so the fact that like the half of the reason it was created, it just wasn't able to capitalize on it. Like
Yeah.
the whole point was buffing and nerfing characters, but every time you nerfed a character, everyone got super upset about it. So it
Yeah.
just didn't really lead to anything.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that they're revisiting or just completely redoing it.
Yeah, absolutely. When you imagine your future with the game, do you see yourself as more of a creator, a player, or eventually stepping back?
Um, I'd have to say I 100% don't see myself playing a stereotypical player. It's either going to be I keep improving my content for people to enjoy, or I'm just going to step back.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, what would be, 10 years from now, you look back on the time that you've been playing with this game, which is a very significant amount of time. I mean, will you look back on, this was a great period of life that I had when I was playing this game, had these friends, or are you going to
Yeah,
look back with it with regret?
I'm I'd say that this has been a great experience. I love the community. I love hanging out with everyone, and now that I have the platform to just make other people as entertained and passionate about this game that I am, I just find myself really enjoying it.
Yeah. All right, Ham, I've got one last question for you, man. I asked
Cool,
this
let's
of
do it.
I asked
I
this
could
of
talk all day.
I asked this of everybody. It's the same question I have at the end of every one of my interviews. I want Voice of the Community to be a very long-lasting series. I want to interview many, many more people across the entire community. Ham, who would you most like to hear from future episodes of Voice of the Community? You can give me a name, you can give me a category, free to play.
Have you
Spender or
done
whale?
a video with Have you done a video with Nagase yet?
I have
I can't
not.
remember.
I have not done with
Oh,
Nagase.
that
No.
that would be a really fun one.
Yeah, I've got him on my
Like,
list. So I've right now I've got a list of people I really want to do. I want to do Nagase. I want to do Minash. I want to do. I think I want to do IP if I can get a hold of him. And yeah, there's a lot of people that I really want to get a hold of. Seaton, of course, we're trying to work a time with
yeah,
him, but absolutely. But yeah, Nagase, I've met him a couple times now. He's a fantastic guy. He's a
yeah,
tremendous player. He's a great guy. Yeah,
yeah. I have to say he's like my best friend in this game. Like he's
good.
the one that got me into the community. He's the first channel I started like actively talking in. So
Yep.
I love the dude, man.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I really want to talk to him.
I feel really bad because the few times that I have met Nagase, I can be pretty a very I can be a very forward person in social settings, and I feel like I scare him whenever I come up to him and say hi. So, but yeah, I would love to get online. Absolutely. All right, dude. Ham, thank you so much. Thank you so much for doing this interview tonight. Thank you for spending the night with me, man, answering these questions. This is fantastic. For all the listeners and viewers of this interview, please, 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 if you haven't had the chance to go see Ham's videos, they are absolutely fantastic. They are some of the best content, my favorite content out on YouTube lands right now. So please go subscribe, go check out his videos. Please consider subscribing and liking this video. I really do appreciate it. We're going to have many, many more interviews with voices of the community in the future. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one.